Now then, boys and girls, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another of Mike's Puppy Toots. Tonight we'll be concentrating on BackSeatDriver. With the release of the upgraded main script by Grant a couple of weeks ago, I've rebuilt the packages in two formats: pet packages and portable rocks apps. These are available in 3 different flavors: a 64-bit flavor, a 32-bit one for modern puppies, and also a 32-bit one for older puppies. Now, the reason I've made this division between the two is because older pups need a lot of extra dependencies and upgrades to be able to use the PSIP portion of BackSeatDriver. This requires a minimum 217 glibc for it to function, so I've provided a runtime package for the older puppies, which essentially upgrades your glibc and adds these extra needed dependencies. What I will say is this: even after you've finished with BackSeatDriver and feel you no longer need it, I would still advise leaving the upgrade in place. It will enable you to run and to use far newer packages than you would otherwise be able to. There is the unavoidable side effect of it making Puppy bigger, but I feel it's a good trade-off for the improved performance you'll get out of her. Right, having got that out of the way, let's have a look at BackSeatDriver. Now, for those of you who don't know what BackSeatDriver is, BackSeatDriver is Puppy's equivalent to TeamViewer, except it's far more lightweight, doesn't need the horrible Qt5 dependencies that I absolutely hate. It's capable of remote desktop control, file transfer, chat messaging, and due to the aforementioned use of PSIP, real-time two-way voice communication. So, typical scenario might be if a puppyan has issues or problems and a fellow forum member feels able to help them, they can install BackSeatDriver. The helper can then show the person with a problem exactly how to do it on their own desktop in real time, and at the same time talk to them and explain to them why they're doing what they're doing, which makes this a very valuable teaching and assistance tool all round. Now then, I'm going to explain the functions since I now understand it far better. First thing to know is that BackSeatDriver generates its own and runs through a virtual private network tunnel. It's totally secure, it's encrypted end to end. The basic configuration settings should work exactly as they are out of the box. You can, if you want, change the name and the password for the VPN in this top section. If you do so, do make certain that both you and the person at the other end have identical name and password, because otherwise the VPN will not form and you'll not get a connection. That's entirely optional. As I said, it will work exactly as it stands. One note about firewalls: you can either turn your firewall off while you're using this, which I think most of us won't be too happy about. If you want to leave your firewall in place, you'll need to make exceptions for 2 ports. for port 1234 and for port 39022. So long as you do this, you'll get the connection straight through and everything will work fine. Okie doke, that's that basically explained. Now, to use the remote control desktop, BackSeatDriver employs X11 VNC as the server to send the desktop to the teacher, and the teacher can use SS VNC viewer to view the student's desktop and to show them what they want to do with it. It's quite simple. The student simply fires up via the server button like this. You'll see a terminal come up. It shows a VPN's formed. When this red window goes off, the teacher is then able to connect by simply clicking on the client button here. This is of course greyed out because the student can't use it. Within a few seconds the teacher will see the student's desktop and will be able to start helping them. To use PSIP, the normal course of events would probably be for the student to ring the teacher, initiate the call, and then they can chat and the teacher can explain to the student what he's doing. Once again, it's very simple. You just click on Run PSIP as student. A second terminal forms showing that the VPN is again functional and PSIP fires up. Now, a word here about your audio connection. You'll need to set up your speakers, microphone, headset, whatever as your default audio card. Best way to do this is with the ALSA Sound Wizard, obviously, which allows you to set your card, etc., and then configure it via Retrovol. Having done that, you'll then need to set up the audio settings in PSIP itself. Now, to do this, we go into Setup and go on to the Audio tab. Now, in the normal course of things, my headset would be showing in the input column on the left hand side, but because I'm currently using it to record this video, it's not doing so. It can't be used in two places at once, obviously, like anything. But normally you would check your default sound card as the input in the left hand column, and in the right hand column the recommendation is to leave it on demix. This is what Grant told me when we were testing a year or so ago. I've always used it and it's always worked, so why rock the boat? Any changes you make, as soon as you click on close, they're applied immediately. For the student to connect to the teacher, just click on the little twisty to the left of tunnel, highlight the teacher. Nothing will actually happen here since I've got nobody on the other end, but you would then click on the call button. You get the call window come up, says calling. The person at the other end will get a wee window come up. Do you want to accept this call? Yes, no. Assuming they do, this calling will then change to confirmed and the connection will be there and you should be able to talk to the other person. Okay? Right, that's covered PSIP and the remote control desktop. You can use this to send messages. Again, make sure you highlight the person you want to send it to. Click on the message window, the message button rather, sorry, and you'll get a window like this come up. Any text you want to send, simply put it at the small window down here As the tooltip tells you, this is the message window. Once you've clicked apply, it will show up here in the conversation window, and the person at the other end can then reply if they wish. This can also be used in various other handy ways. If you want to send snippets of code to the other person, you can just copy paste it here, click apply, send to the other person up there. Anything like that will work quite happily. Just close that out of the way. Now, this leaves us with file transfer. Need to go on the main GUI, and to do this you will click on file transfers up here and then click send receive files. Now this will extend the GUI down at the bottom like so. Now this is a two-sided thing. For one person to send files to the other, the person at the receiving end first needs to click on receive to go into receive mode, and by doing this you get a small terminal open up. This shows that the application is sitting there waiting to receive. The person sending, just drag and drop any files you want to send into the directory window here and then click on send. It's as simple as that. One nice thing about BackSeatDriver is that you can send multiple files. Simply create a directory, stick all your files into that directory, and then drag and drop the directory itself into the directory window. BackSeatDriver handles it all on the fly without any need for packing, unpacking, zipping, unzipping the directory itself in the process. Okay, just shut that down. Click off send receive files. We minimize the GUI again, and that in a nutshell is what it's capable of doing. Close everything else down, and when you leave PSIP, make sure you close it with a quit button. Don't use the X window or else you'll destroy all the settings in the .conf file. Okay, that shuts down the PSIP tunnel, and to shut down the server you simply click on stop, which shuts down the other tunnel. And that's basically it, boys and girls. My whole raison d'etre for putting these packages together, it's basically my tribute to Grant's genius in putting this together in the first place. It's a really brilliant concept. It's so simple and yet it just works. Okay, perhaps the only slightly fussy bit is compiling PSIP itself. I've tried this myself in the past, and it is an absolute pain in the butt to do, putting it bluntly, but it's one of the few things I feel best left to those who know what they're doing. My compiling skills are not that good. In addition to Grant, credits must also go to Cat Dude, to Step, to Mocky Mopple, and especially James Bond, the Fat Dog developer who actually came up with PSIP. I think some of you ought to try this out. I really do. I mean, my making these packages up, since everything now works, is essentially my Christmas present to the community. I'd love it if some more of you did start using this, because we can only help each other out. Okay, it's up to you guys, I know, but I think you'll find it's worth it if you give it a shot. Anyway, that's BackSeatDriver. Thanks for listening. Have a good Christmas, y'all, and a prosperous new year. and I'll catch you all again in the future. Ciao for now.